All right. Our next storyteller has a name that's probably nearly synonymous in the interior community with boats, snow machines, and ATVs. You can imagine he's probably seen about absolutely every way you could possibly destroy a power sport vehicle, and I suspect he's seen a lot of creative ways people have tried to fix them. Maybe it will make us all feel a little better to hear a story about when things went horribly wrong for him. Let's invite to the stage Craig Compeau telling the story of Midway to Hell.
All right. Hey, everybody. All right. So as a local businessman, I don't like to badmouth any other businesses, whether it be like a dingy roadside restaurant or whatever. But the name of my story is Midway to Hell. So that could be a clue. So it was September 2006. A buddy of mine, Bryce, and I were heading down to Tok because another buddy of ours, Kenny Broker, had tipped over a moose on the Tok River the night before. He had field dressed most of it, but he got dark. He had to get back, so he called us. Hey, I need some help finishing this up. So Bryce and I get in the truck, and we head on down towards Tok. So it's 6 o'clock at night. We're leaving. We're heading to Tok. That's 3-4 hours. So we have. We're starving, right? So we said, let's just get an order to go from Midway. Whoops, I shouldn't have said it. From a dingy. So we get an order to go. We get in it. We take off to Tok. I inhale my burger and fries, eat most of his fries, and we get on down to Tok, and we made it 9 o'clock or whatever, and had a couple of beers, stayed at the Tok Lodge. We figured get up early the next day, and we'll go help Kenny. I had my boat behind me. And we're going to go down there and help Kenny get this moose, off the river. It's horrible weather, raining, miserable. Anyway, we get up the next morning, had a Bloody Mary, and get in the boat. And the trail to this part of the river is not even a road. You go down a gravel road, then you go literally through the woods about 3 miles. Our fenders, we're banging fenders off the trees. We're going over roots and stumps. It's just like you'd expect to see in a dense forest. And so anyway, as we're going, I'm not feeling so good. I'm just kind of feeling queasy a little bit. And I'm thinking, if I was a bar owner in Tok, I'd probably buy the cheapest vodka I could to put in my Bloody Marys, right? The market demands in that area. Anyway, so anyway, we're going down there. I don't feel so good, but we get to where we put the boat in the river. And with me are my buddy Kenny Broker, who's 360 pounds. His two boys, average 6'8". And my buddy Bryce, who's directly behind me in the boat. And so we put the boat in the water. Starting to feel worse. I was starting to sweat and get a little clammy. And anyway, we get the boat in the water. We're going down the river. It's rainy. It's early. It's only like 7:30 in the morning or whatever. It's just barely light. We're getting down the river. Up the river. We got to go, 8 miles, 10 miles or something. So we're heading on down the river, and I'm thinking to myself, I shouldn't be able to hear my stomach over a 200-horse inboard jet motor. There's something wrong there, right? So anyway, I just think, okay, all right. So we're coming on down the river. I'm just feeling horrible. I keep looking back at Bryce, and he didn't look so good either. But anyway, the other guys look fine, right? So anyway, we're getting down the river, and all of a sudden, we're still at hunting season, so we're thinking, hey, another moose would be nice. Let's tip over another moose. There's 5, 6 of us. We can use the meat. So anyway, it's rainy. It's ugly outside. Bryce sees what he thinks is a moose on the upper right bank, and he stands up. And I have to stop here because my rule in a boat, never chamber the rifle until you have a good, clean shot at the animal and the boat isn't moving. Okay? My rule. I assumed everybody knew my rule. I've told it many times. Well, Bryce, it was raining, so he had his rifle upside down in his hands. And it's cold. His hands are probably shaking a little bit. Anyway, he stands up, and the rifle slips. He goes to grab it with his pinky, and a .338 hole goes right through the bottom of my boat. Bang! At the exact same time, every person in the boat yelled 3 words, the first 2 of which were, "What the?" So now we got a hole in the boat. It's raining. I'm sick as hell. And I'm driving in this early morning misty dawn as the boat is filling with water, and there's like way too many people in it already. So anyway, we continue down on the river, and Bryce mentions he's not feeling too good either. Like I give a shit. Really? Okay, right. And I want to protect the names of the people in this story, although his full name is Bryce Allen Weaver. He lives on Fairbanks. Many of you probably know him. You can ask him about chambering up a rifle in a moving boat, okay? Anyway, so I'm feeling just horrible. I've only thrown up 5 times in my whole life. I got a wrought iron stomach, and I am ill. It would have killed any other human being, I'm sure. So the boat is filling with water, and we're getting closer to the kill site, and I tell the guys, look, when we get there, I'm just going to run that boat wide open onto the bank, or we're going to sink. Because we had pulled the drain plug, trying to get the water out of the boat. It's not keeping up. It's just going too fast. So, and it's pouring ass rain. It's ugly out. So I drive this boat. I power it up onto the gravel bar. And I tell the guys, look, I'm not going to be much help on this one. I am not feeling good. So Bryce and we got out of the boat. He went off into the woods to try and get a little bit sick or whatever. And I curled up on a tarp in the mud there and just in a fetal position. Ugh, it was not pretty. And we just couldn't make ourselves feel better while they're finishing cutting up this moose. Well, we're thinking, well, the only thing we haven't tried is maybe we just need to eat something. So here's a tip for you guys. If you're feeling really nauseous, clammy, and shaken, fever-like, don't try kippered king salmon. Don't do it. It didn't help at all. It didn't help. So anyway, we get the moose, we get it cut up, we get the rest of it, like I helped on that one. So they got the rest of the moose in the boat. We get the boat in the water, turn on a bilge pump, which wasn't doing much, take off, barely got on step. Now we got a chunk of moose in the boat. We got these big monster guys in the boat. We're going up there, and I'm just getting worse. I mean, it feels like razor blades and battery acid rolling around in my stomach. I am so ill. Oh, never felt like that. So we're getting up. We're going back up the river, and we literally start. It's a silty, dirty river, and it's pouring rain, and we're losing speed coming back, and so we have to drop off Kenny's 2 boys, the 6'8" and 6'9" guys. So we'll have to come back for you, and we take off. They were young and stupid. They said, okay. See you next year. Anyway, so we dropped them off on the bank, and we got back up on step, and we're racing for the river bank where the woods trail is and the boat trailer. So we get there. And so we get the boat on the trailer, and of course, the water's pouring out of it and everything. And in a moment of brilliance, Bryce came up with an idea that was perfect. And he took the shell casing that he shot, which is a tapered shell casing, crawled under the boat and hammered it into the hole. Now, it took me from 2006 until right now to use the word Bryce and brilliance in the same sentence. I never gave him credit for that until just now. All right. Anyway, so we're driving back through that root-infested trail. Kenny's driving the truck. I mean, my guts are on fire. I'm dizzy. I really thought, as Warbelows, can they fly me to Fairbanks? I got to go to the FMH. I need help here. We finally get back to the Toke Lodge, and Bryce is sick. I'm a mess. I'm an absolute mess. I'm sweating. I'm shaking. I just can't do anything. So we get back, and I just want to lay down in a bed. So I said, just gave him my credit card. Said, Bryce, get a room. I got to lay down. So go up and lay down in the bed. I'm just going to try and sleep this one off. I can't picture getting in a car for 4 hours. I can't even picture getting in an airplane. So I'm laying there. We both have a bed in the room. I go to bed, and I am so ill, and I'm just shaking and clammy. It's just as bad as you can imagine. And then about 3 to 4 hours later, I wake up. I feel calm. Everything's okay. I feel okay. I powered through it. And then I lifted the sheets. I'm going to leave this part to your imagination. But it is etched in my gray matter, and it will never leave. And when I lifted those sheets, I gagged, I pounced out of bed, I ran to the bathroom, I'm bent over, I'm driving the big white bus, and two violent and unfortunate things happened at the exact same time, involving both of my orifices. You could no longer recognize the floral pattern on the shower curtain. That's all I'm gonna say. I'll stop right there. It was bad. Bryce is giggling in the next room. Now just imagine a semi-truck full of 5-gallon buckets of chili that turned upside down on a newly paved highway. You can't ever make that highway look the same again, right? So anyway, I did what any respectable business owner would do. I took a shower. I wrapped the shower curtain and the sheets up in a ball in the tub, and I laid a $100 bill on the sink counter. And I told Bryce, we need to get the hell out of here. So we looked down the hallway, scurried to our truck, and went back home. Now, you probably wish and hope that was the end of the story. It's just getting started here. So, a month or two later, I got this itching going on. It's bad. I can't sleep at night. I'm getting 2 hours of sleep, scratching myself till I bleed. There's something wrong. Well, so I go to different skin doctors and everything else. Oh, it's just eczema. No, I can't. I'm getting 2 hours of sleep a night for 4 years. I was horrible. I went outside, I went everywhere, and finally, a family friend said, hey, there's this Indian doctor on the radio in Bellevue, Washington, that can diagnose anything. So I am so desperate. I went right to AlaskaAirlines.com, and I booked my ticket to see this lady, thinking, I'm that desperate. I got to get this fixed. I can't live like this. I looked like I was 85 years old. It's horrible. Anyway, so I go down there, and I go in. The first thing they do is a skin prick test, right? They take the little samples. Turns out I'm allergic to two things: barley and the ink they use to produce in currency. So two of my favorite three things I'm allergic to, okay? All right. So they put me through that, and then the doctor, this Indian doctor, lays me, I get in my boxers, and I'm laying on a table, and I'm laying on my back, and she says, and I hear this music that you'd probably hear at an elevator in New Delhi, this soft music playing, and all of a sudden she grabs my fist and starts moving it like it's a 5-speed sports car, and I hear what I think are it sounds like dice rolling in a wooden cup, right? So I crack one eye open, and she's got my left fist in her hand, and she's got a wooden cup with dice in the other hand. And at this point, I'm looking around for medical licenses in frames on the walls. I said, what the hell are you doing? She said, fear is in your stomach. Anxiety is in your spleen. And what she goes on, and I sat up and I said, I need to exit the property. I have to go. She goes, no, you have to finish this, right? So her assistant comes in and takes me downstairs, where I meet a big German woman in a white This is true. I'm telling you. I'm not making this up. You couldn't make it up, right? There's a white German woman in a lab coat that looks just like Ernest Borgnine. Okay? So she lays me down next to what looks like a fish tank with current going through it. I'm from Fairbanks. I've never seen one of these things. I don't know what this is. And she says, "This is how we cleanse." I didn't know what cleanse meant. And she pulls up this tube and starts putting this lubricant on it. I go, "What? What? What's cleanse? And why aren't there any fish in this tank?" So she says, "Relax." And she does what she does for a living. And I felt like I was going to explode. I mean, on my eyes, everything's bulging out. I'm whimpering in pain. "Stop! Please stop." And finally, she'd stop. And I'd feel my organs, go back to their original upright position, my internal organs. And then she did it again, and like 4 or 5 times. And I'm just like, finally, it's done. It's done. And so I look around for my pants, wallet, and dignity. I found 2 of them. And I said, "I've got to get out of here. I've got to get out of here." So I bolt for the exit door, and I'm intercepted by the owner, the Indian doctor that she says, "Sit down." And she's got some clipboard with her, and she goes, "I have no idea what is wrong with you." And I just spent $1,800, for services rear-endered, okay? Anyway, I bolt for the door, and she interrupts me, and she goes, "No, sit down." She goes, "I don't know what's wrong, but when you go back to Fairbanks, Alaska, when you're in an airplane, you need to count back 4.5 years, and you will figure out something very traumatic happened in your life, death in the family, whatever." I said, "Okay, all right, good, bye." My car is out here. So I get out in the car, I get on the airplane, I'm sitting back, counting back from 2011, whatever it was, back September 06. The French fries. It was the French fries at Midway Lodge. Yeah, Midway Lodge. So anyway, what happened then was a doctor came to town, unbelievable, diagnosed me, said, "I take these, in 30 days, you'll be done, it'll be gone." I said, "Yeah, no disrespect. Been there, done that." It worked. It was amazing. I couldn't believe it. I owe a debt of gratitude to this woman. I told her, after I got better, I said, I want to do something special for you. Could I pay off your mortgage, put your kids through college? I mean, it's a game changer when something that dramatic happens to you. And listen, that lady went over and above what she was supposed to do. Kind of like that little housekeeper in Toke. Thank you.